What's going on, guys? Aaron Goldston here. So in this video, I want to talk about one of my favorite books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In this video, I would like to break down what the 7 habits of highly effective people are. I want to share with you what each habit is, what each of the 7 habits are, and then how you can apply each habit into your life now. One of the cool things about some of these reviews that I do is I give you just the nuts and bolts. I've read the book. The book's a fantastic book. It gives you lots of examples, but going through, kind of a condensed version like a video like this, you kind of get the nuts and bolts, and you can start using it right away. So lesson number one in the 7 habits of highly effective people is the be proactive. That kind of means taking responsibility for your life. There's lots of people out there who are not happy with the way their life is. They're not making the money they want. They don't have the health they want. They don't have the relationships they want. And they like to blame other people. They like to say, oh, the reason I'm not successful was because of my upbringing. The reason I'm not making the money I want has to do with my family. The reason I have a bad temper is because my family. The reason that I'm fat is because my family's fat. That's the opposite of being proactive. Being proactive takes all the responsibility and puts it on you. A good way to start living life, and most people, by the way, don't have the fortitude to do this. They don't have the balls to do this because they're so fragile, they can't even fathom the idea that they're at fault for anything. One of the ways that I live is I say everything is my fault. If I'm not getting something in my life, it's my fault. Because when I put the responsibility on me, now I'm the person that fixes it. If I put the responsibility on someone else, then it's their job to fix it. And I've lost all my power. So let's say that, when I was starting off in life, I wasn't making that much money. So I said, I could have, a non-proactive person would say something like, well, I'm just not, they would say, well, they wouldn't even say that. They would say, life's not fair. The rich are all greedy. The rich were born into money. I wasn't born into money. I just can't get rich. I didn't say that. I said, I'm not making the money I want, but I'm going to listen to some self-improvement. I'm going to get mentors, and I ended up getting multiple mentors. I'm going to figure this out. Sure, I wasn't born with the right connection. Sure, my family was just an average family, but other people have done it, and if they can do it, I can too. I was proactive. I took responsibility for me. I take responsibility in such depth that when I'm out at a club talking to a girl, so I would so guys, I still go out all the time. What am I talking about? I don't drink or anything, but I go out. So I would be talking to a girl that I was really into. And it would go real good for 20 or 30 minutes. First of all, it used to not go good at all, right? And then it would go all right. And then it went pretty good. And then it would go really good for 20 or 30 minutes. And I would lose the girl after 20 or 30 minutes. So I could say, all these chicks are just club chicks. They're club rats. They don't appreciate a good guy. That would not be being proactive. I said, let's look at this. And I examined myself, being proactive. And I said, okay, I noticed that I'm really in the moment. And I'm really just vibing and having a good time. And then there's something inside of me that says, oh shit, it's going so good, I hope I don't fuck it up. And that anxiety comes off. Some of it's subconscious, some of it's in the mannerisms that I do, and just the way that I'm communicating with her. She feels it, and then she becomes unattracted and leave. So I learned meditating exercises that I would do right there in the club to calm myself and keep myself in check. I swear to God, guys, I was at the club. I remember it. I went home. I learned this centering exercise. I was talking to this girl. I think I met her downstairs, and I brought her upstairs, and we were talking on the couch. And everything's going really good. And then half an hour goes by. It was always the same thing. I started getting nervous. Heart starts pounding. I'm like, fuck, it's going good. I don't want to fuck it up. And I remembered my training. And I got relaxed. And then she went to the bathroom. And as she went to the bathroom, guys, I swear to God, I stood there in the middle of the dance floor. I closed my eyes. And I did a a 3-minute meditating exercise to center myself and put myself back in my body and out of my head. So everyone's dancing, having a good time. I'm literally sitting there like this, in the middle of this loud dance floor outside. No bullshit. And I was relaxed, and I didn't fuck it up, and it went good. Completely proactive in every area of my life. Lesson number 2 is begin with the end in mind. You always want to begin with the end in mind. You want to begin with the end in mind because it keeps you focused, it keeps you on track, and when shit comes up, because shit's going to come up, it's easier to overcome it. So, one of the stories I like to tell is at the end of last year, I lost 40 pounds of fat in 2 months, and I kept it off. When I started the journey, I began with the end in mind. I wanted to wear fitted shirts, and I wanted to be flat on my stomach. That's what I wanted. So, the next day I woke up, guys, and guess what? I was still fucking fat. And the day afterwards, I woke up, I was still fat. But because I began with the end in mind, I kept thinking about the end result that I wanted. Kept focusing on the end result, and then I got the end result. You also want to begin with the end result because the worst thing you could do is exert a lot of energy and put yourself in a position where you're not happy with the end result. So, there's a family member of mine, and his goal was to be a salesperson. He wanted to be the best salesperson ever. And he did what salespeople would do. He went to seminars. He would correct himself. He got books. Like, he gave me one of the books, Spin Selling, that I've read. It's a very good book. And over time, he tweaked himself. And last year, he made more money in his company than any other salesperson in the entire company. It's either a nation or worldwide company. Top sales guy. However, what comes with being a salesperson? In order to produce, you have to be out there selling. He still works 50 hours a week. Doesn't spend as much time with his family as he wants. That's what comes with being a salesperson. When I put my life together and I really thought about it, I said, all right, I want to make a crap ton of fucking money. I don't want to work at all because I want to have time and money to do the things that I want to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I was a server at Houlihan's at the time. Before that, I was working at Domino's. And then in between that, I was pushing carts at Walmart, right? Cart pushers at Walmart are not rich, and they're not making residual automated money. But I began with the end in mind, and then I went down a path that took me in the direction I wanted to go. Certain opportunities came up, and I didn't take them because it didn't get me to the end that I wanted. Other opportunities came up, and I said, wow, if I could get that to work, I could get some shit going, and then I could be making a lot of money and not working. And that's what I did. I started 2 businesses. Each business was doing over $100,000 a year in pure profit for me, and I was working no more than 12 hours a week max on both the businesses. One business, I was only working a half an hour a week, making over $100,000. And the work I was doing, guys, was like, I was driving to work, and then I was driving to the bank to deposit checks. Like, it wasn't really hard work, right? It was pretty easy work. Begin with the end in mind. Number 3, put first things first. So this is a problem that a lot of people have. A lot of people are busy, but they're not productive. You see a lot of people who, you see it on Facebook. I see it on Facebook all the time. Even though I'm friends with very successful people, I'm also friends with other people too. And I'll see people who they'll be like, man, it was such a productive day. I cleaned, I did laundry, I changed the light bulb, I rearranged this, I built a deck outside. What a productive day. They are wrong. They are confusing busy work with being productive. Productive work moves you ahead in life. Busy work is just shit you gotta do. Listen, you gotta do laundry, okay? There's things you have to do, but there's other things you can wait on doing. You know, I was hanging out with someone and the light went out, and they were like, oh, the light went out, I gotta go to the grocery store and buy another light, right? When I'm bumping and grinding, guys, which is all the fucking time, when a light goes out, fuck it, the light. Now I got backup lights, but if I don't have any backup bulbs and the bulb goes out, I don't get the bulb. Because me going to the store, getting the bulb, coming home and screwing it in, it feels kind of good. It feels like you did something. And you did do something. You were just busy and not productive. You want to spend your time being productive, putting first things first. We all have 24 hours in a day. You have to decide what you're going to spend your time doing in that 24 hours. Are you going to do busy work that feels good, that doesn't move you forward in life? Or are you going to make sure that you're productive? And what you do is you force yourself to be productive. So there's sometimes I go to bed at night and I have shit that I have to do the next day to move my business forward. I will wake up, I write down my goals, I do Anthony Robbins incantations for 15 minutes, and then I do a breathing exercise in there too to get me in massive state, and then I will knock out the goal. I don't get on Facebook, my phone stays off. 3 to 4 hours once the task is done, then I turn on my phone. Because if I turn on my phone, guys, there's going to be this pressing email I got to get to. And there's going to be this person. And oh shit, look, I got a message on Tinder. I want to message her back. I'm going to be doing all these things that's going to feel good to do and it's going to be busy, but it's not going to move me forward. I force myself to make sure and I do some busy work too, but I force myself to make sure I spend a large amount of time every day being productive to move me forward in life. Put first things first. Be productive, don't be busy. Number 4, think win-win. You want to think win-win. So what do I mean by this? So a lot of people, they go into a situation, right? If you're like a salesperson or you're selling something, they go into a situation. How can it be all about me? How can I win and get the things that I want in life? Well, you want to make sure that you're not letting anyone walk over you, of course. But you also want to think win-win. How is this going to benefit the other person? How is the other person doing this thing I want them to do, interacting with me, going to benefit them? Because at the center, we're all selfish people. You're watching this video now, maybe you think I'm handsome. Hey guys, I shaved, I got a little, my cheeks get a little rosy. Maybe, I think I look a little bit better. In my other videos, my face was this big. 40 pounds less. I think I look all right. You're probably not watching this video because you like looking at me. You're watching this video because you want to learn what's inside the 7 habits of highly effective people in a nuts, condensed, easy to digest thing so you can apply it to your life. Right? I know that. So I think win-win. I'm going to share value with you. And then, I just like sharing value. Hopefully you subscribe to my YouTube channel afterwards. And I can keep putting videos out there that help you, have some personal development. And I'm very big into making money. I teach a lot of hacks of people that I show people how to make a lot of money quickly. Even if they're broke, even if they don't know where to start, and even if they don't have any experience. So you always want to think win-win. Whether you're hiring someone, whether you're in a sales situation. Number 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So everyone, they come to you and they got something on their mind. And the first thing we tend to do as people is we want to get our point across. We want to explain what we're thinking. We want them to understand where we're coming from. Stephen R. Covey is saying that you want to shut the fuck up. You want to relax a bit. Let the person explain their problem. Let the person explain where they're coming from. Shut up. Seek first to understand where they're coming from, then to be understood. And listening is just kind of important in general. Sometimes, guys, I'll be hanging out, right? So I might be like hanging out with my family or something. And I've noticed sometimes I don't even talk that much because my sister talks a little bit, and then my mom talks a little bit, my dad talks a little bit. I understand sometimes they just want to be understood. So I noticed the other day I was getting dinner with them, and they, I didn't even really talk about my life that much. I was just understanding where they're coming from. People want to share share their experience and what they're feeling. But if you're ever in a sales situation or you're ever in a situation where there's tension or conflicts or problems, shut up, understand where the person's coming from, let them speak, and then maybe you can share your ideas with them. And that goes into the next habit, which is synergize. Which basically means that if you have a solution and someone else has a solution, a lot of times if you talk, a lot of times if you understand their point of view and actually allow yourself in your brain to shut the fuck up and understand where they're coming from, a lot of times you can come to a conclusion or a You can come to an understanding or solution that's better than yours and the other person's. Or if there's multiple people, you can come to a solution that's better than everyone's combined, because you take the best things from the best part of your solution, the best part of this person's solution, and you combine it together. That's habit number 6. Habit number 7, sharpen the saw. I want to say it was Abraham Lincoln that said, and don't quote me, guys, don't quote me, but someone said this. They said if they were going to go spend 6 hours chopping down a tree, they would spend the first 4 hours sharpening their axe. Because if you're knocking down a tree, you got to do 2 things. The first thing is you have to have an axe, right? And you have to have an axe that's decently sharp, or you're going to be spending all your time hitting the tree, and you're going to be exerting more energy than you need to if you had the right tools. The second thing is you actually need to be out there taking action, right? If you spend the whole 6 hours sharpening your axe, getting it really sharp, it's going to be sharp, but if you don't go to the forest, if you don't pull back, if you don't swing and exert energy and take some sort of massive action, no trees are going to be chopped down. On the flip side, if you're out there and your shit's dull and you're hitting the trees, you're going to be working harder than you need to, and you're going to get less results than the person that sharpens their axe, spends time sharpening their axe as they spend time chopping down trees. So what you want to do is you want to be taking action. But you also want to take time to learn, to improve your skills, to get better information. That could be going through programs, that could be getting a mentor, that could be reading a book. But you want to be taking action as you improve your craft. The good thing is it's called plan, do, check, adjust. So you make a plan, you take some action, you check the results, and then you adjust, and maybe you get better information, and you make another plan, and then you take more actions. You want to be taking action while you continue to improve your skill set. There's a sweet spot you got to get a feel for, but once you get a feel for it, you'll be consistently learning and growing and improving your skills as you're consistently taking action, and that's when you really start to win in every area of life. If you got value from this video, guys, I'm always putting out free content where I'm sharing. I've been listening to 2 to 3 hours of self-improvement a day for the last 10 years. I've started over a dozen businesses. I started a detail shop. I started a promotional company, which I grew to the largest in my industry, in my city. I've started a restaurant. I started a kiosk at the mall. I started an SEO agency. I started a business where I made websites. I made a lot of websites for people. I've been in 9 network marketing companies. So I've had a lot of mentors. I've gone to very expensive seminars. I've gone through over $100,000 of high-end masterminds and expensive programs. So what I do is I put a lot of free content out there where I share money-making strategies, tactics, and mindsets you can use right now today to start living the life you deserve, you want to live in, make the money you deserve, you want to make. Because I feel like if you can get to the point where you're making lots of money and you're not working that much, you'll have the resources to spend time with your family. You'll have the resources to give your family a high quality of life that they deserve. And you'll have the ability to live a high quality life of your own. My name is Aaron Goldston. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.